Capricorn, hello, Amanda here. Welcome to the Unseen Hands Collective. This is going to be your February shift reading. We're looking at the shape you're shifting out of this month, the shape you're shifting into, and what that shape shift looks and feels like. So Capricorn, the image that's coming to me for you this month is bubbles rising up to the surface and popping at the top. So these like air bubbles that are rising up from what looks to be like the darker depths of the ocean, and they're rising all the way up to the surface where they can pop, where they can open up, where they can be free. And your cards are really beautifully reflecting that sense of buoyancy and coming up for air from maybe some hard, deep, dark stuff that you've been going through, or some like heavy weighted energy. So your shape shift, we're using the Slow Holler Tarot this month, and you're shifting out of the Three of Wands and into the Three of Cups. And first of all, might I say, this is one of the loveliest shift readings I've seen in a really long time. So I'm so delighted to give this reading to you, Capricorn. Again, it's like up from the depths and into some lightness energy for once. And I think Caps, y'all been really going through it, so you deserve it. Anyway, I'm happy to see it for you. Shifting out of the Three of Wands is speaking to me of like, you've been on this journey. You know, the Three of Wands talks about looking forward into the future and making plans for the future and, forward thinking, forward imagining. And so I think you've been here. I think you've been in this energy of like a journey for some sort of long-term planning, or some sort of plans you've been setting into motion for your future. The shapeshift is into this beautiful emotional energy of like celebration, joy, feeling connected and together with the people you love. And I can't help but notice that this is literally those like bubbles rising up and bursting at the top, bursting at the surface of the water in joy and in lightness and in celebration. So Capricorn, if there's been some like emotional heaviness for a sustained period of time for you, it looks to me like February is bringing some lightness for you. Here's what your shapeshift looks and feels like. The Hierophant, or in this deck, it's called the Guild, the Eight of Wands, and the Nine of Cups. So again, this beautiful, like, look how light these cards are. They are forward motion. They are buoyancy. There's a feeling of momentum now, of something sort of lifting you up. I think what's really beautiful here is we've got this octopus, which to me is usually a creature that hides in the depths of the ocean, that would like hide in the darkness in order to protect itself. Now it's like you're feeling free enough to come up for air. I don't know, it's just like you're coming up to the surface. You're breaking through the surface of something. Maybe there's an emotional breakthrough here because there's a lot of cups energy, and you're moving from like weighted, heavy, deep, maybe like hidden emotional experiences and up into the air where like things can be seen and connected over and celebrated. But there's definitely forward motion with the Eight of Wands. The Eight of Wands is that momentum, that fire energy that sends things into motion, puts things into motion. And these cups feel really celebratory to me as well. The Nine of Cups talks about the things you want, the things you wish for and desire, and the things that would bring your heart fulfillment. And, I'm really loving, I think one of the big points of this reading for you in February is how many cups are all joined together in celebration. I think there's something really important here about community and friendships and relationships in general, feeling connected in light ways, connecting in lightness and buoyancy. Perhaps it is your relationships that can help lift you into a lighter energy. help to move some of that heaviness up into lightness. It's also interesting too, because look at all of these hands at the end of the octopus. You know, it's not just one cup. It's not just one hand. It is multiple energies here helping to lift you up. It's really lovely. And then I'm also going to tie that into this energy of the guild or the Hierophant. A guild to me speaks of like a group of people or an institution, some sort of group that has formed together. And I'm feeling like when I'm looking at this card, you know, there's this bee imagery of, you know, and bees would make one think of a hive, but which again would tie it back to community. Okay. And there was a lot of like beehive imagery in the candle in the Virgo reading. So if that's something that's important to you, you want to check out your fellow earth sign, they have a similar message here. And in fact, they were shifting into the same energy, the Three of Cups. So there's some overlap here around expanding your ecosystem. There's an ecosystem here. We have the honeybee, we have the flower, we have the rain, we have the soil. This is a whole, and the sun, you know, this is a whole ecosystem going on here. And I think what's happening is you are expanding your ecosystem outside of yourself. You are expanding your ecosystem to allow others to be part of that. Because you're realizing, I think, that maybe you can't do it alone. That maybe with the help of others, they can lift you into lightness of being. They can lift you and provide the buoyancy that maybe is difficult for you to provide yourself. But yeah, it's a shift in ecosystem that is more communal. You know, when the collective, Kevin, Kelsey, myself, the three of us here in the collective talked through your reading for February, Capricorn, we really noticed how typically Capricorns are like an ecosystem all to themselves. You know, it's like you are this closed loop system where you are able to take care of business and do this and that. And you are like this well-oiled machine that functions independently, autonomously in and of yourself. You don't necessarily need other people to be part of your ecosystem. You know, it's like it's been proven to you time and time again that if you want something done right, you do it yourself. It's that kind of energy. But you know what, Capricorn, I think there's a desire to expand in this reading. You know, there's a desire to expand beyond a closed loop system where there's just this one bee trying to pollinate all these flowers into a whole hive. You know, like suddenly there's multiple hands, multiple cups, multiple hands and cups. So perhaps you're realizing that in order to expand in some way, in order to expand your impact, in order to expand your growth and experience, like maybe this is about emotional development even. But either way, it's like, if you are ready to grow, if any area of your life is ready to grow, perhaps your ecosystem needs to expand to include other people, to open that loop so that it's not this self-contained, closed-looped system, but rather opening that up can allow your ecosystem to grow larger, and maybe your community to grow larger, and the things you desire to come to fruition because of that growth and expansion, which of course brings us back to this. You know, you're wanting something to bloom and it's been this maybe long journey, and now it's finally here, maybe because you are ready to expand your ecosystem. This is interesting. I like this for you, Capricorn. We're going to dive into it now and dig deeper into this energy in an extended reading. I'm going to use other decks, pull other cards to see what we can get out of the energy for February for you. So if you'd like to join me for that, you can click the link in the description box below to go to unseenhandscollective.com. You will find the extended in the shop and also in our monthly memberships. Now, you have to understand this is only 1/3 of your shift energy for February. This is just the tarot portion. You have an astrology scope that's going to help loop in the planetary movements and how that's affecting your February energy. And then Kelsey's guidebook, which really helps you to go through your own personal journey with whatever happens and unfolds for you this February. So go check those out so that you get the full picture of February. All right, Capricorn, take care. Visioning into the future, which is absolutely part of you, right? That's the goat part of you, and that's what you should be doing. That's what you're really, really great at. But it's like it's like going up from the peak of the mountain where you get to vision forward into the future, and then like plummeting down into this space inside of yourself where you're just like almost lost in your own woods. And there's like loved ones here in the middle that are like, hey, come up from down there. Hey, come down from up there, and like join us in the vision. It's one thing to like be above it all and sort of seeing it all play out and like making sure it all happens. But then it's like, hey, come be a part of it happening too, though, like join in on the experience of it. And in order to do that, you do have to open yourself up to the vulnerability of connection.
You're going to have to actually let people into your soul world. Okay? And I know that can be a really crazy place for you and some place that you try to stay away from. Okay? Or at least try to appear, you try to appear that you have all that under control. But if you want others to be able to assist you and to externalize what you have inside, you're going to have to be able to either let them in or communicate it. Okay, instead of, you're going to have to let people in.